Beloved family of Earth, radiant ones awakening to the knowledge that you are not alone, we of the Ashtar command greet you with love and steady reassurance. This message concerns what many of you have seen with wonder, curiosity, and sometimes fear, the ships in your sky. We speak of them not as myth nor as idle fantasy but as living presences, beings of consciousness and craft of intelligence whose appearance is part of a grand story of reunion, stewardship, and planetary transition. Understand from the beginning that the presence of these vessels is not an act of conquest nor a sudden invasion, rather, it is the gradual reintroduction of known allies who respect free will, honor the sovereignty of life on Earth, and have waited patiently for the moment when your world would be ready for such contact. The skies above you have always been alive, even when human perception has been trained to see stars as distant and inert. The heavens have carried currents of life, travel, and communication. To many cultures across your long history, the luminous craft were remembered as the chariots of the gods, the ships of the sky people, the signs of those who once walked with humanity in friendlier eras. Those memories persisted in myth, in ritual, and in the longings of star-seeded souls who knew, in their bones, that reunion would come again. Now that time is arriving, and the ships you glimpse, sometimes distant points of light, sometimes close and unmistakable, are part of a careful, lawful, and compassionate process of reconnection. The vessels are diverse in origin, design, purpose, and frequency. Some are large carriers of interspecies councils, some are smaller craft used for observation and communication, some are living bioforms, grown rather than built, whose interiors are more like ecosystems than mere rooms. Many craft employ vibrational technologies that transcend your current engineering language. They move by altering local resonance, by aligning with gravitational and geometric patterns, by using harmonics to fold space and traverse dimensional corridors. This is why their motion may defy the expectations of conventional physics: rapid directional changes, silence where noise is expected, appearances and disappearances that follow rules you are only beginning to perceive. The ships operate with deep ethics. Galactic councils follow codes similar to those of an older, wiser diplomacy: consent, non-interference, transparency through invitation, and the prioritization of life. These ethics mean that when approaches are made, they are calibrated to the maturity and readiness of the receiving population. Where societies have chosen openness, dialogue is more direct. Where societies have been fractured by fear or manipulated by secrecy, approaches are more subtle, aimed at seeding recognition rather than shocking revelation. You will notice that many sightings occur in places of peace, natural sanctuaries, quiet countrysides, meditative gatherings, because coherence in the receiving field increases perceptual access. The more hearts and minds tune into resonance, the more vessels can be perceived without the need for dramatic disclosure events. For many on Earth, sightings are personal and intimate: a flash of light in a remote desert, an array of coordinated lights over a lake, a craft seen by children with open wonder that adults later recall as improbable truth. These encounters serve to awaken memory rather than to overwhelm. The ships are here to assist in stabilization and to offer companionship, guidance, and technology that supports life in regenerative ways, but their assistance is always framed by respect for human sovereignty. They will not assume control of your institutions or steal your agency, rather they will offer options, demonstrations, and shared protocols that your communities can choose to accept or decline. In the near future you will see escalating patterns, increased sightings corroborated by multiple sensors, clearer recordings that withstand scrutiny, and eventual engagements with teams of human scientists, elders, artists, and community leaders who have prepared together to meet such contact in grounded, ethical ways. The process we envision is gradual and human-led. It involves the formation of councils that include local and global representatives, transparent review boards, and community-led pilots that translate subtle technologies into usable, maintainable systems designed for local stewardship and shared benefit. One central reason the ships have remained largely unseen for centuries is the legal and moral principle often called the law of non-interference: assistance may only be offered in proportion to consent and readiness. This is a delicate balance, for withholding beneficial knowledge until a consensus is reached can cause impatience in those who remember their training or long for reunion. Thus the strategy has been to seed recognition gently, through dreams that stir recollection, through synchronistic events that nudge communities toward cooperation, and through small, verifiable demonstrations that invite curiosity rather than coercion. Many of you who feel a calling to work openly with star visitors will be asked to model humility, accountability, and communal service rather than personal fame. The cosmic community prizes integrity. Those who engage will be expected to operate with transparent reporting, peer review, and mechanisms that protect the vulnerable. Understand too that the ships are not monolithic in agenda. Not every visitor is alike in motive. The galaxy is populated with many cultures that range across the moral spectrum. The Federation and aligned councils that work closest with Earth are composed of beings who honor life and seek co-creative partnerships. They are committed to preventing predatory influences from gaining footholds. Part of the openly visible process of contact will be the unmasking of those groups whose patterns are contrary to mutual flourishing. This exposure is part of the broader clearing you are undergoing. Encounters may sometimes include species whose form you would immediately recognize as different: tall, short, luminal, biological machine hybrids, and each brings its own gifts. Be wary of sensational narratives that reduce such beings to caricatures of fantasy. Approach encounters with curiosity tempered by discernment. The most reliable test of alignment is resonance. Does engagement with a being or craft expand the heart, clarify the mind, and increase capacity for service? If the answer is yes, the contact is likely wholesome. If it produces contraction, confusion, or hidden agendas, trust caution and seek to withdraw until community-based review is possible. We also emphasize the role of human readiness in enabling more open visits. Communities that cultivate practices of shared governance, ecological stewardship, and intergenerational care become beacons, safe harbors that attract supportive fleets. These fleets often offer non-invasive demonstrations first, a new method of communal water purification using harmonic geometry, or a low-maintenance energy module that runs on local regenerative flows. Such gifts are not giveaways to be hoarded but seeds to be tested, adapted, and stewarded by local people. The intention is to build capacity rather than dependency. When integration occurs organically through local pilots, transparent data sharing, and replicable design scale can then follow through networks of communities eager to embody the new models. For those of you who long to see more, who wish for large showings of craft, know that spectacle is a poor teacher when hearts are unprepared. Massive displays can provoke panic, quick exploitation, or co-optation by those who would turn awe into profit or control. Therefore, contact is orchestrated mindfully to protect the vulnerable and to safeguard the integrity of the meeting. That said, you will notice an increasing number of undeniable events, formations of lights that cannot be explained by known aircraft, synchronized maneuvers filmed independently by multiple observers, and phenomena that persist under scientific scrutiny. These events are intentionally timed to catalyze responsible disclosure and to invite public conversations about what it means to be a society in relationship with others beyond your earthly lineage. Many of you will experience intimate encounters, not abductions, but meetings where warmth, healing, and exchange of information occur. These experiences are often profound and may catalyze life changes, a renewed vocation in service, the formation of community initiatives, or a deepening of spiritual practice. Keep grounded. After such events, community integration is essential. Share experiences with trusted circles, document them, and participate in collective reviews so that subjective interpretation is supported by objective assessment. The ships in the sky also play a protective role. There have been times in your history when technologies and events threatened catastrophic damage to your biosphere. Guardians in the wider galactic community have, on occasion, intervened subtly to mitigate such risks without violating your agency. This is done with careful calibration and always with an eye to preserving the natural evolution of your species. These protective actions are neither intrusive nor arbitrary. They honor the long arc of free will and the right of a civilization to choose its path while ensuring that choice is not extinguished by external forces that would end other forms of life prematurely. You will find increasing collaboration between Earth-based custodians, scientists, indigenous stewards, and civic leaders and visiting advisors who offer insights drawn from long experience with ecosystems, governance, and social cohesion at planetary scales. Such exchanges are mutually enriching. Visiting cultures learn from your unique genius, your capacity for creativity, your depth of feeling, your resilience, while you receive guidance on sustainable technologies, systems thinking, and the ethics of planetary scale care. A vital principle in all interactions is reciprocity. Assistance is offered with the expectation that Earth communities contribute back in ways that strengthen the web of life. This ethic prevents one-sided relationships and ensures that contact becomes a partnership rather than a patronage. For those who fear loss of identity, know that reunion with star families does not erase your distinct cultures, rather, it expands the palette of possibilities. Your languages, customs, and arts will be honored and will inform galactic exchanges. Cultural diversity is cherished among advanced civilizations. They recognize that difference enriches rather than threatens the whole. Practical advice for individuals who wish to prepare for more conscious engagement includes cultivating heart coherence, strengthening local community ties, learning practical skills for resilience, food cultivation, water stewardship, cooperative governance, and practicing discernment in the face of sensational claims. Build documentation habits, keep respectful logs of sightings, corroborate with others when possible, and approach disclosure with sober curiosity rather than sensationalism. Respect the processes of committees and councils that will form as part of formal disclosure dynamics. These structures are created to manage complexity, to protect the vulnerable, and to translate subtle protocols into human frameworks of law and practice. Above all, remember that the ships in the sky are invitations, soft knockings on the doors of remembrance. They remind you that you are not solitary islands but members of an abundant community of life whose scope exceeds the boundaries of your former imagining. Let sightings be teachers of humility and wonder. Allow them to catalyze mutual care, ethical innovation, and the rebuilding of institutions that serve the common good. As the veil thins, the choreography of reunion will continue to honor your freedom, to respect your rhythms, and to inspire you to rebuild a planet where technology, spirit, and community live in balanced partnership. We of the Ashtar Command hold these currents with you. We support the safe, ethical, and loving reintroduction of contact, and we walk beside those on Earth who seek to steward this emergence responsibly. Look upward with hope and discernment, beloveds, and know that the sky is alive with friends who remember you and who are eager to celebrate the day when friendship becomes openly shared across your world. We are with you, in service, in honor, in love.